Before all that, though, Lisa, thank you. Before all that, though, last week on the show, we were talking about new research which claimed more than half of us have no idea how to deal with a plumbing disaster at home.
And one of the most common things to cause us problems is the toilet.
Oh, yes.
Which... bit suspicious.
I've got teenage boys, trust me, those toilets are busy.
Now, Hattie Hasan blames this on people flushing the wrong things. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are we putting the wrong things down our toilet, Hattie?
Well, there are some prime suspects.
Come on, run us through.
So the main suspects are sanitary products.
Yes.
Obviously, it doesn't apply to your teenage sons.
I don't know.
However, yes. But the thing is with sanitary products is that they're so thin because they're ultra absorbent.
Yeah.
So actually, as soon as you put them in, if you think about it, they absorb.
And
so
they
expand.
Yeah, of course.
And so where you started off with a 4-inch or new money 100mm pipe, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So the more things you put on top of that, blocked.
Yes, got it.
Same with most sanitary products.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's suspect number one.
Yeah, number two.
Suspect number two is wipes.
Now, there are some that say you can put them down the toilet. Can you? Should you?
I don't believe it.
Do you know?
Oh.
They might well be biodegradable, and I haven't done the scientific research to know how long it takes for them to biodegrade.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that there are some impurities in the pipework, so once you've flushed it down, a wet wipe can get caught on something.
Right, okay.
And so it's not going to biodegrade straight away, but it's going to act more like a pearl in an oyster. That it will start to collect, except for a smellier and horribler.
Yeah.
And it will start to collect other things that you put down on there, and the same effect, it will just block the pipe ultimately.
Okay.
So that's suspect number two, wipes. Yep. I would suggest don't put them down. Okay. Even if they say they're flushable,
don't do it.
Even if they say they're biodegradable, I would not take the risk. Okay, so what have we got next? We've got toilet paper.
What?
I
think you are supposed to put toilet paper down, but in moderation. So it's got to do with education, really. It's all
so you will still get called out to blocked toilets that have just got too much toilet paper in?
Well, yes, because, we don't actually get called out mainly for blocked toilets. We get called out for toilets that are not functioning properly.
Sure.
This part of it, not that part of it.
Right.
But, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But so... if you go like this with a toilet roll and you've got a big fat wad, then yes, it will go down, but it won't break up quick enough for it to go all the way down flush freely. Yeah. So those are the main.
Moderation.
Can I ask a question then, Hattie? This might be getting a bit too detailed because obviously you've got two younger boys. I've been through this with boys. You're trying to teach your kids potty training, girls as well, of course. Is there some sort of amount of bits of paper to what is there a sort of a perfect balance? Would you say?
Well, it does all depend on what job the paper has to do.
Yeah, a big job, let's say.
So to speak, a relatively big job will need more. But I would suggest if you're going to put more toilet paper down, put it down in kind of intervals.
Right, okay, no, that's...
Break it up, use it.
Don't wrap it all the way around your hand.
Well, not necessarily.
A couple of sheets.
A few, 2 or 3 sheets, maybe 4. Use it, and then use another 4, because at least that way it stands a chance of beginning to degrade by the time you flush in the toilet.
Just not a big clump.
My boys are taught at school, actually. They're taught that you have how to do it, and then you fold, and then you do again.
You fold?
Yeah.
I mean, I did see a video on YouTube once, and it did say that you could do everything necessary with 2 sheets. I mean,
that's origami-tastic.
Well, isn't it, Jess?
I don't actually believe that. But
No, okay.
No.
But less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more, yeah.
Okay.
Now, the next suspect is these things that you put on the side.
Not good, but they're made for toilets.
They're made for cleaning the toilet, but basically they are a piece of, I'm just going to stand up now.
Yeah.
A piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Which will never biodegrade.
It'll float though, won't it? Flushes.
Well, once you put your paper on top or whatever you put on top,
so anyway, it's going to.
And it can go down, and once it gets in between the U of the toilet, it will start to act as a thing to catch other stuff.
And what about the chemicals that are in there? Are they not useful for cleaning your toilet?
Well, I would actually recommend using a cleaner that does clean. Every week or every few days or whatever, rather than using one of these, because the amount of times our plumbers have been to toilets and they've pulled out stuff, and it's been because of
one of those that's caused the issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think you're doing the right thing if you
You
put that
do.
button in.
It's just one less thing to think about, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there are different sorts of products as well that you can stick on that don't have those plastic
Plastic thing,
applicators.
yeah.
I just want to talk, while I'm talking about those bleach things, I've got a toilet here, which I'm glad you don't have these in your homes, but if I press this button, you can see that going up and down, that's the flush.
Is that the ball cock?
No, the ball cock is that thing.
The ball cock's there.
It's not a ball. It's not a ball anymore.
And it's not a ball anymore.
Well, no wonder I'm confused.
So if you put these things in there,
Yeah.
that's bleach. And basically, bleach does like to eat silicone and rubber. So if it's sitting in there, what will happen is that rubber seal, which is what stops the flush from flushing after it's flushed, will get eaten away. And then you'll come home and your toilet's been running and running and running all day long. And you don't know why. And it's probably because of that.
Which is then really expensive too.
Well, I mean, you can change them, and maybe on another show I'll show you how to change them. So we don't really have time now. But, yeah. but yeah, so I would not use those in your toilet.
Okay, in the system, yeah.
In the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about these cleaning products here?
Right, so I would actually say you can use those because they will be diluted enough by the time they get into the rest of the water.
Okay.
Now, I have got a trick to show you just before we go. As you know, my mantra is prevention is better than cure. Yeah. However, sometimes we do have to cure. And if you can't afford a plumber, I've never owned a plunger, by the way.
Never?
What's that about?
How can you be a plumber and never have a plunger?
Because a plunger pushes the problem further down.
Oh, it forces it down rather than pulling it out.
So I would prefer to actually not do it for one thing, but if I have to clean it, then this is something that you might all be able to do at home.
You've got a coat hanger there, an old wire coat hanger.
It's a wire coat hanger. Now, I've got to say, I had trouble getting one of these because they're all plastic now.
There's less and less, isn't there? Yeah.
If you can get one, I would pull it like this. You don't have to be strong.
No, of course.
And then you just create the shape.
Right.
See, and don't put papier-mâché on it because you'll have plenty of papier-mâché once you've finished. It will go in the U-bend and it will pull out.
Oh, crikey.
Now,
so, like, hook it
and
drag it back.
Hook it and drag it back and get it out.
Right.
I mean, and if you want to just smash it up and flush it then into a flushable pieces, you can.
You could
if it's a wet wipe, I would take them out because
they
won't do it.
I've got some extra props here. Make sure that you've got black bag and some gloves because it's nastiness.
Yes.
There is technology you can use if you don't want to handle it, but you will have to handle it ultimately because a wet vac, they're about 40 quid. You can vac out any blockages.
A wet vac?
Yeah, it vacs water.
Okay. Is that a good bit of kit to have?
It is, but, I would always say, just don't do it.
Yeah, just don't let it happen in the first place.
I mean, there are other things that you can do for other blockages before we run out of time.
Yeah.
Hair is a terrible one.
Yes.
When you're having a shower, if you've got long hair or hair that falls out, if you're having a shower, just get one of these and put it into the plug hole. Over
the plug hole. And that'll stop the hair going down.
It will catch the hair. Similarly with that.
Really simple things.
Stop it. Don't do it. Prevent it.
Now, one other... don't do it. Prevent it. But if you've got a shower and it's full of hair...
Yeah.
This is pretending to be a shower.
Oh, yeah, we've got one of those. We've got this.
You can take this off, actually. Yeah. Just pull it off.
Yeah.
And then if you want to use your coat hanger, you can, but you can just get all that. You can pull this out. Yeah. Pour all the gunk away.
Nice.
And that cleans.
Is that a you job in your house? Or?
Unfortunately, it is, because I seem to be the only one that cares. And it's not my hair, because there's only one person that has long enough hair that goes down there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a you job there. That's like taking the bins out.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
That's what she keeps saying as well.
Exactly.
You can rent these wet vacs too, can't you? So that might be the way to do it.
I think you can rent them, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. It's not worth buying it.
No.
Just for the toilet.
No. Not when you've got a coat hanger that will do it just as well there, Hattie.
But also prevention. That's
prevention
the key.
and education. As they say in the political world at the minute, education.
I wish she'd run.
That'd be great. We'd all vote for Hattie.
I wish I could run.
Thank you, Hattie.
Hattie, thank you for joining us as ever. Brilliant stuff.
Oh, we love her.
Right then, coming up next.